Welcome. If you're here to watch this video is getting ready for the PreAP Test 5-2. All right, so let's go over. Number one, so in here, well, let me get my pen. In here, you see a balance. Can you solve for x? There's several ways you could do it. Some students will replace each x, so look at the answer choice, and replace each x with a number. And then they'll see if this side is equal to that side. So if I replace each x with let's try 5. 5, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, that's 12. 5, 1, 1, 1, 5, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 is 10. Is 12 equal to 10? No. Let's try B. So let me erase this. If I replace each x with a 1, 1, 1, how many 1s do you see on the left side? 6 of them. If I replace this x with the 1, how many 1s do you see on the right side? 6 of them. So x equals 1. Number 2, solve and graph each inequality. So you have 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 7. So what do? You have to get rid of these units. So here's the model, 2x plus 5 less than or equal to 7. So how do I get rid? I need to isolate x. How do I get rid of 5 positive with 5 negatives? You must balance it on each side. So that's why I'm subtracting 5 from both sides. Cancel. So I'm left with 2x is less than or equal to 2. Then I divide both sides by 2 because the inverse to undo multiplication you divide. And that's why x is less than or equal to 1. Now it says you need to graph it. This means equal to, close dot. This symbol means less than. Which numbers are less than or equal to 1? 0. That's why I shaded it to the left side. Number 3, next question. Subtract 5 from both sides. So it's negative 2x is less than 2. But wait, hold up. I'm dividing by negative 2. Whenever you remind yourself, when you multiply and divide by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality sign. This means like you do the opposite. So that's why it's x is more than negative 1. So it's an open dot, and you highlight the numbers that are more than negative 1, such as 0, 1, 2, 3, the positive numbers. So explain the difference in solving and graphing a 2 inequality. Well, first of all, in here, we did not flip it, but here we had to flip it around. So when multiplying and dividing by a negative number, you must flip the inequality sign. Another thing is this one shows it has to be equal to or closed dot. This is less than or more than means open dot. So one is a closed dot, the other is an open dot. Which statement is true when k equals negative 5? So if you solve each question, which one will be k equal to 5? So let's look at letter C. So I'm going to write it a little larger so I can see it. So what's the first thing? I need to subtract 17 from both sides. Just cancel. So k divided by 3 equals negative 5. What's the inverse of divide 3? Times 3. Times 3, cancel. K equals negative 15. Oh, the answer is letter C. Number 5. A company spends $80 to set up their printer to print a specific t-shirt design. So they spent money. The company charges $10 per shirt. Which inequality best represent X, the number of shirts the company needs to sell to pay for setup costs and earn a profit of at least $200? At least means it could be more than or equal to. So we know well, wait, stop. It means at least it's the lowest. So I wrote this backward. So more than or equal to. So let's think. $200 is the least, the lowest. So if you look at this thing, $200 is the lowest, the least amount they will earn. They can earn $300, $400, $500. So it means more or equal to. So that's why B and A are out. So they charge $10 per shirt. How many shirts are they buying? X. So that's why it's a 10X. But they spent $80, means subtract $80. D is the answer. Number 6, which of the following scenario could best represent the inequality of this one? 30 is more or equal to 2x plus 5. So let's see this. Peter spends at most $30 at the bowling alley. He spends $5 for a shoe, 5, and a soda, and each game costs 2x, or $2. How many games do we know how many games he's going to play? No. So it's like 2 times, it's like saying 2 times the number of games. What variable would you like to use for that? X. So I think A is a good answer choice. It can also be B could be another answer choice because he spends $5. Then each game costs $2. It cannot be C because he spends $2 on shoe renter. That's a one-time thing, so it can't be that one. And it cannot be D. So now this is where people get stuck on. He spends at most $30. That means 30 is the most amount he can spend. That means 30 is the most. If it's the highest he can spend, he must spend less or equal to $30. For example, here in this number line, you have $30. This is the most he can spend. That means he can spend anything less than $30. You know what? I'm going to rewrite this problem. So it says 2x plus 5 is less than or equal to 30. See, do you see how 2x is facing the smaller side of an inequality? So in this inequality means less or equal to. That's why the answer is A. Number 7, find a measure of D, F, E. This measure right here. D, F, E. What kind of angle do you see right here? So what do you know about a triangle? A triangle always adds up to what? 180. So 45 plus 87 plus x equals 180. If you add up 45 plus 87 is 132. If I subtract 132 from both sides, x equals 48. So to check your work with a calculator, 45 plus 48 plus 87 is 180. Number 8, the measure of two angles in a triangle are shown in the diagram. Which equation can be used to find the value of x? So first of all, let's look at this. This is 48 plus x. Does this angle look like this angle? It does, x. So x plus 48 equal, what does the triangle add up to again? 180. How many x's do you see here? 2 x's plus 48 equal 180. Let's look at our answer choices. Well, we know it can't be C and D. That's just 360. So it's either A or B. Well, I see 2 x's, and I see a 48. That's why A makes sense. Number 9, what is the area of the shaded part of the trapezoid? Here's the trapezoid. So what are you supposed to do with the two bases? Add them up, 20. Then you multiply by its height of 10. You could do 20 times 10 is 200. What's half of 200? 100 square centimeter. I like doing a shortcut. What's half of 20? 10. 10 times 10 is 100. Now let's do area of triangle. The formula is half of base times height. The base is 25. The height is 12. Do we use these? These are called a slant, so do not use that, please. So 25 times 12 is 300. Half of 300 is 150 square inches. This is a parallelogram. What is the area of this parallelogram? You multiply the base and the height. 10 times 2 is 20. 4 is the slant. How do you find pi? Remember, you got an Oreo cookie during our lesson, and you had to measure the circumference. Then, with a calculator, you measured the diameter. Your goal was to get the number of 3.14 or pi. So how do you get pi? You must do circumference divided by diameter. Because how many diameters go into circumference? About 3 and a little more, or 3.14. Gavin drew a circle as shown below. What is the circumference of Gavin's circle? There are two formulas you can use for circumference. C equals pi d, or C equals 2 pi r. Circumference, again, means the distance around a circle. What is this a picture of, this line? A diameter. So we're going to use this formula right here, because it's about diameter. So write in terms of pi. So replace the diameter with 18. So C equals pi 18. If you said this is the answer, I'm okay with that, but I do prefer it written as C equals 18 pi. Number 14, what is the circumference of Gavin's circle? Circumference of Gavin's circle. So C equals pi d, or C equals 2 pi r. So I'm going to use pi d again. So I'm going to replace the diameter with 18. Oh, this is the last problem, same problem. So we multiply with a calculator. If you had one, you will multiply 18 times what's pi? 3.14. If you multiply 3.14 times, what's happening? If you multiply 3, I don't know what's, let's look at this. Highlighter, green. You multiply 3.14 times 18. 8 times 4 is 32, carry to 3. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11, carry to 1. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25, cancel. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3 is 3. And then you jump it 2 places, 56.52 square. Oh, so it's just inches because it's about circumference. What is the area of Gavin's circle in square centimeters? So the formula is A equal pi r squared. So what is the radius of this? The radius of this, what's the relationship of radius and diameter? Is half. So the radius is 9. So I'm going to replace the radius with 9. What's the, how would you say 9 squared as repeated multiplication? 9 times 9, or 81. So 3.14 times 81, if you multiply 3.14 times 81, 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 3 is 3. When I was a kid, my teacher, Miss Lester, told me, scratch this out, put an X. 8 times 4 is 32, carry to 3. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11, carry to 1. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 1 is 25. So it adds up to 254.34 square inches. And 16 and 17. These are called composite figure. You must find the total area of this. So it's made up of different shapes. I see a semicircle, a rectangle, triangle, and triangle. Let's do the rectangle first. Base times height, 12 times 18 is 216. Let's do the triangle. To do a triangle, you have to do half of the base times height. What's the base? 6. What's the height? 18. So 6 times 18. I like doing the shortcut. Half of 6 is 3. 3 times 18 is 54. But how many triangles do you see? And they are of the same size. 2 of them. 2 groups of 54 is 108. So we have that area and this area. So right now is 324. So we know C is going to be out. Now semicircle. A semicircle is not a full circle, it's half of a circle. To do area of circle is pi r squared. Do a semicircle, you do half of pi r squared. So you place the radius here with 6. So it's half of pi, 6 squared. And how do you say 6 squared as repeated multiplication? 6 times 6 is 36. So with a calculator, if you had one, you would multiply 36 times 3.14 and cut that number in half. Or do the shortcut I'm going to do. What's half of 36? 18. 18 times 3.14 is 56.52. So now, if you take all of these 3 answers, well, first of all, I think it's going to be A, because that's the only one that has 52 in the hundreds place. A is the answer. So composite means add them all up. Number 17, last but not least, what 2 composite shapes used here? I see an area of a triangle and a semicircle. Let's do triangle. It's half of base times height. The base is 3. The height is 3.5. If you multiply three groups of 3.5, it's 10.5. Half of it is 5.25 square inches. Semicircle, this is the radius. The radius is 1.5. So it's 1.5 square. That's 1.5 times 1.5. If you multiply that, that's 25. Carry the 2. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 2 is 7. Cash it out. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. It adds up to, jump 2 places in the hundreds place, 2.25. So now you need to do half of 3.14 times 2.25, or 3.14 times 2.25 and half of it, and you get 3.5325. If you add this together, it's 8.7825 square feet. And that is how to get ready for your upcoming test. You got to know two-step equations, inequality, a triangle adds up to 180, the area, and circumference.